You have both been critical of CDC messaging, and it came to something of a crisis last week. At the end of the week, we saw the CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, taking back some messaging to the CDC and talking directly in a press conference on Friday morning. Dr. Wen, is this too little, too late? Is the fault with the messaging or the messages themselves? Where do you stand on this, and what can be done?
Yeah, I actually think that Dr. Walensky is a fabulous communicator. I don't think that the messenger is the issue or the communication is the issue. I actually think the much bigger problem is the problem with the message itself. That is, if you have a policy that's problematic and convoluted, there's no brilliant messenger at all who's going to be able to figure out how to communicate this. In fact, it's only going to get more muddled over time. And so let's take the isolation guidance as a good example, because I think a lot of people have said, and I know Dr. Adams has been very critical of the isolation guidance as well. I wish that the CDC had come out and really explained what is their rationale for changing the isolation guidance. If they had said, as an example, that, hey, we just don't have enough tests. We're not saying that tests aren't valuable or aren't needed, but we don't have enough tests to be able to test out of isolation. That's why we cannot make an official testing recommendation. I think a lot of people would say, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'll use the test if one is available, but if none is available, here's what I will do. Or another possible reason I think for the CDC's isolation guidance is too many essential workers are out of work. And we are facing a potential collapse of our entire healthcare system and of society if we don't have, if we don't have key people in public safety and manufacturing able to be at work. So I think if they said, we have to maintain societal function. This is the reason why essential workers have to be have to have shortened isolation. I actually think that that would have helped matters as well to fully understand the reason behind why the guidance is being given. So I think that's one thing, is being clear about the reason. If it is it that the science has really changed, or is there a practical component behind it as well? But I think another part is so much of the CDC's decisions seem to be happening behind closed doors within a very small group of people. And those people may not always have the on the ground experience of being clinicians or local or state health officials. And I think one thing the CDC could do that would be immediately beneficial would be to start issuing draft guidance. They could issue draft guidance 48 hours or something like that ahead of the final guidance. And as a result, they'd be able to solicit a wide range of viewpoints. And that's also a way for them to pressure test ideas too, so that people can immediately come and say, hey, this wouldn't make sense because businesses might see this impact in a certain way and health departments might see it in another. I mean, doing something like that allows them to get a wider array of viewpoints, including from those on the front lines. And I think helps to prevent some of the major problems that they're seeing, which again is not so much with the message itself, I believe, but rather with the underlying policy.